Hello, welcome back to the T Ranch Sawmill. My name's Kim. This video here is going to be about growing broom corn, harvesting it, cutting the stalks, drying it, making a de-seeder to strip the seeds off and save the seeds so we can plant them in the garden next year. An attempt to make a broom, which is something I've always wanted to do. I might even get Camera Girl to participate. Hope y'all enjoy the video. Okay. We have purple corn right through here and some Indian corn. But right here, this is broom corn.
What are you going to do with broom corn?
We are going to make, you and I are going to make brooms. I've always wanted to do that.
We interrupt this programming to bring you some rather disturbing messages.
Beryl is still a tropical storm right now. We've seen Texans down south boarding up, some actually leaving, some tourists in the area right now.
This time, unfortunately, though, it is along the Texas coast. Here's a look at the latest track that we're seeing.
So we're, 7 o'clock in the morning. We're fixing to harvest some broom corn. My name's Johnny.
It is August 2nd, 2024.
That's right. The first thing I'm going to do is go in here and break it so I can get to it. You can see it's a good 12 feet tall. About 2 weeks ago, or a week ago at least, 2 weeks probably, this was turning red. It's kind of bolting red. And so this is our first year to harvest this. We want to make some brooms. So we may not know exactly what we're doing, but we're going to do something. Oh yeah, it's breaking real easy.
Yeah, you may not have to cut it.
Look at there. So they say this makes you itchy. So do you want some of this on you?
Mm-mm.
We'll break it. We'll sort it out later. They say that the birds really like this seed, so we'll save some to plant. Normally you'd leave this laying, from our understanding, leave it laying, just like we made that little table right through there, a little tall, but it's in there. You'd leave that in there like that so it would dry, but we got a lot of animal pressure here. So what I'm going to do is just lay it over on the bed of that mule and dry it, kind of like we do our onions. So normally you would pull from here, this first leaf, but you can see this is kind of young, so I'm going to cut it back here just to keep from wasting it. And get all these off this, you can get it off the ground, you know. So they said the guys that harvest this are called Johnnies. Johnnies. Just I'll lay it like that. But we have a drying shed, and once these get the moisture off them, they're heavy with dew right now, we'll put them, hang them vertically in a shed.
The reason we're doing it this morning is because we live in East Texas and it's going to be 95 or 98 today. So it's only 80 something right now.
See right here? Even though it's real tall, look at those roots coming out. So I wonder if in the wild, if it didn't just lay over and root in. It looks like we cleaned it up pretty good. just going to get it out here in a hurry and sort it out. We don't have that much.
One row, first year ever planted.
So this was outside the electric fence. Looked like somebody was hungry. That's more than what I bought right there. And that made all this that you're looking at. So that's a pretty green one. And here's a pretty mature one. Look at the wiggle and the whiskers. This is probably about right there. So what I heard they would do is they'd put this in a machine or strip these seeds off. So after we let it dry and get this dew off, we'll see what I can do to get the seeds off. Let's see what the corn looks like. It's been under, look at there. There's some protein right there. So this was Indian corn or purple corn, but the raccoons have already attacked and basically ate everything they got. So the only way I can keep the coons out is to put more electric fence down closer to the ground. See, that's going to be a good decoration for you.
That one's pretty.
So we got pumpkins planted. We got some of this right here, this broom corn. And so we'll be decorating. See where something gnawed around on that one?
We have some fall decorations.
Yep. This is 2016 we planted these pecan trees. And you can see this year, because of all the rain we've had, I guess we're 8 years in and we got pecans on most of the trees. And I believe this one might have been a Stewart, but I now I've got the broom corn grown. I've got the seed still on the straw, basically. So what I have to do is I'm going to make a de-seeder that will remove the seeds, and we can save the seeds and plant them again next year. So I love making things out of my junk. My wife hates this pile right here, but this is my Home Depot. I come here all the time. What I'm thinking is I'm going to make a frame. We'll make a frame out of 1-inch tubing. Right here, this will work fine. I can take advantage of some of these welds. We're going to need some sea purlin. Here's some sea purlin. It's going to have a, I'm thinking about making it rotate like this with some brushes to remove the seed. So we can take one of these baskets. These are screens for hoses when you're pulling out of a pond or something. Probably use one of those. And then there'll be some miscellaneous stuff I get out of here. But anyway, I hope y'all stick around to watch this. Here's another junk pile I keep out of the weather. This came from my grandfather's farm. We used to sharpen our bush hog blade on it. And this right here come off a lawnmower. These two things should work. Okay, I've been working a couple hours. I cut that sign up to make this frame. I added this purlin. See these great welds I did? This is my grandfather's grinder. So what I'm doing is putting that in that area right there. And I'll take this shiv off this lawnmower. This dude has a wear-out bearing right in the middle. That's 5/8, and that shaft is 5/8. But my thinking is put this pulley or shiv, whatever you want to call it, now this is just a sleeve bearing, so you got to keep it oiled. Put this 5/8 on here like this, and got this DC motor.
It is a 1725 DC motor. So I'll make a platform down here, and we'll put the motor down here closer to the bottom to give it a lower center of gravity, and a belt on it. This I won't be able to use. What he had was he had a little half-horse 1725 motor on here, GE. I don't know what happened to that, but I'm glad to get this. My uncle gave it to me. So, pulley here. Oh yeah. And on this side, this is right-hand threads. The other side's left-hand threads. On this side, we'll adapt this to go on there like this, and attach. My plan is to attach these brushes on here like this, and have it rotate about 500 RPM. And the way I determined the 500 RPM was I went on to YouTube and I said 500 RPM rotation, believe it or not, and then I could see it and visualize it. So I don't want it to just fly at 1725, right? I think it would beat me to death and be dangerous. So I want it to rotate slowly, and there's no chance, there's no way to know if this is going to work. I'm going to have it rotate this way, and I'll put these seed heads in here and pull it through like this. The seed's going to run in a trough and pile up in the back or down in a bucket. That's the plan anyway. So what I'm going to do now is take some more sea purlin and make a platform down here that this motor can mount to. And this motor, it's pretty heavy. I'd say 30 or 40 pounds. Let's see if it says the motor horsepower. 3/4 of a horse. That's going to be plenty because, like I said, we're going to rotate slowly. All right, let me get some more sea purlin. I love building out of this stuff. It's free. It's left over from projects, and you can do so much with it. Cut a tab in this. I'm gonna screw it in for now because I'm not sure about the belt, how long a belt I'm gonna need. Drawing blood as usual. Just shy of 16 1/4. You see I've got the bottom platform built for the motor, and I can just find all my parts. This right here came off my sawmill. I went from belt drive to, or cable drive, belt and cable drive to chain drive, gears and chain. So I drilled the 4 holes for the motor mount. I guess I ought to clean this up a little bit. So that's going to go in there like that. My goodness, this motor gets heavier every minute, every time I pick it up. That's gonna go like a that. Let's see if the height is just right. Looks like it's gonna be all right. Yep. That's what she looks like so far. So I guess now what I need to do is get that plate the motor's mounted on attached and take it from there. Pull this top piece forward, put some bolts right there. I needed 1/4 of an inch. Just my luck. This is what I come up with. This, I decided to try to, let me see if I'm in the camera here. So I'm going to go ahead and try to use my grandfather's grinding wheel. So here's what I come up with. Because this nut is almost full on there. So this is a Craftsman aluminum oxide. It says 600 RPM. I guarantee you it was running faster than that. Used with the guard. I guarantee you there was no guard, knowing my grandfather. It used to be 7 inches. I mean, that's not even 1.5 inches. Anyway, we'll keep this on there and maybe I'll get some use out of it. So this is what I come up with. I drilled out this nut right here to fit on this shaft to space out that grinding wheel. This is the original washer. I cleaned up a little bit on my lawnmower shiv. Uh-oh. Huh. This has little bushings in it. That little bushing came out, but I don't need it. In fact, it's not good that I have it because I need to grab along this hub right here so it'll lock to this shaft. So anyway, that's got an upset on it. This washer goes on there. We'll push this on here like this. And now that mates on that other washer. We'll put this washer here. See, that mates on that hub there. And then we'll put my spacer nut on there to get the grinding wheel out some. We'll put our 5/8 washer on here. This grinding wheel right here has a little insert to go to 5/8. We'll go there. And we'll put this washer on there. And we'll do the backwards threads. Alright. That's already pretty good right there. Alright. The other thing I need to do is, this was his original belt. And like I said, it was on a 2x12. And I think it was pretty much 1-to-1 there on the pulleys. And so we'll cut this belt. This whole apparatus here is probably from the 50s. And to keep from having to take this whole shaft apart, I'm just going to cut this belt. It's all cracked anyway. So there's a little bit of my grandfather's history gone right there. So this will go like this, like that. And I'm going to wait to attach this. I'm going to get all the bolts centered on the motor. And I got to clear this right here. Oh wow, that's pretty close. It is clearing the base though. I may have to put a 5/8 washer on there. Anyway, that's how she's going to work right there. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's going to work. I can't wait to test run this. Now for the other side. See what we got here. So this is what I come up with, and I think I'm going to have a little trouble with durability. This came out of the shiv here. I'm going to put it right there, and these two washers will fit securely. It's bumping up against the hub. Put our big plate on like this. And we'll put on our basket. Now, it's kind of a loose fitting, but this is exactly 5/8. So all I see is threads. Alright, so it feels pretty secure, but when I have the brushes on there, it's going to be a kind of a beating. It's going to be beating on this rim here. This right here is going to take a beating. So let's see. Let me get my 12-volt battery charger and see if this thing will rotate. Alright, We got our 12 volt charger here, set on max amperage, which is 6 amps. 12 volts at 6, or 14 volts at 6 amps. It's a DC motor. I think it's 80 volts, something like that. And the maximum RPM is 5,500, which would be crazy fast for this application. So I got clamps on this, clamps on the motor. So here we go. Hopefully y'all can see this. I need to find my RPM meter. There you go. Really quiet. Really what you're hearing is this battery charger. So this is going to be just off the deck there, and I'll make a trough that I can lift up to set the depth that this is going to work at. So I really like making rotating equipment like this, but I'm a little concerned about this hub here not being strong enough, but it'll get me going, and I got a welder. So like I say, everything you're hearing is this stupid battery charger. That's a pretty quiet little operation right there. The belt looks good. I just have to put this base right on the end of this base. No heat. Although the battery charger is maxed out. Let me zoom you in here. I don't know if you've ever worked on a motor, put on a part, and the part was bad, and the whole job was difficult. But what happened here is, I don't know where I left off. I went upstairs, got on my computer and to download the software, or the pictures and the video, and the card failed. So I don't know how much I had done. I didn't take time to go figure it out, but I think I showed that rotating. So since then, I mounted the motor, put some more brackets in. It's a little more stable now, and I'll go ahead and show you in case I don't have it on the previous videos. But I'm basically starting over, and it's a real bummer. It's when that happens. A lot of work goes into narrating. So basically, I narrated building this, and this is what I come up with. This right here is my beater, and this is my rakers. Forgive me if I'm duplicating things here. So here is a trough. The brushes and the beaters will run down here, in between here. So that goes like that. You see it just fits in there. And what I'll do here is build a box to come up and cover this and catch it. Now what happened was, camera girl was in here filming for me, and we ran one head of corn broom through there, and seeds exploded out of this thing and went all over the shop. She was not real happy, but I cleaned all that up. So that told me I need to capture those seeds in here somewhere. I need to do that anyway so I can plant them. So I'm going to show you where we're at right now, because I don't know what was recorded. This is the SCR, a DC motor. So here we go. I got it in forward, on. There's 2 fuses here to protect both line and motor. Hopefully y'all can see this. And I'm going to roll this rheostat up. You never power this up with the rheostat on. You could blow the fuse. So here we go. The rheostat's at 0. We're coming up. So I'm at 40% right there. And I found that it needs to be 50% or better. So that's how it's going to work. I've never generated any motor temperature with this so far. And I would run some broom corn, that'll come later, but if I run it through there, it'll blow seeds everywhere. So it is working. Whether it's the best way to do it, who knows, but it's going to work, looks like. And I'll go ahead and take it up. Remember, this is not real balanced here, so it's for low RPM operations. And I'll get a tachometer on this at some point. There's 70%. There's 80. Kind of reminds me of $6 Million Man. There's 90. There's 95. That's 100 right there. I could even live with that. So we'll put it under a load and a little ball here and see what how it falls down. Anyway, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to seal this hole here. I'm going to build this box to capture the seed, and we'll finally end up building this drawer right here. The drawer is going to fit in this little cavity here. I'll have to show it to you. And will contain the broom needle, some of the string, and things that you might need to build a broom. But I also want to, let me turn this off. So it's back to 0 and off. So we also wanted to point out that this right here is just a 5/8 shaft. So I could put other accessories on here and not just stay with this. This is real easy to change out. All right, so guess what I'm going to do now? I tell you what I found is I need to stabilize this right here. I did end up welding this, so I'm going to put some feet coming down on this to stabilize it, because it was kind of bouncing a little bit when I moved it. And in the end, we'll put some wheels back here so I can tilt it back like this. Look in there, it fell out. See how that's bending? I'll tilt it back and we'll have some wheels back there so I can move it around easily. I needed just a little more than an 8-inch flat piece. So I'm going to go here on the anvil and beat this out. I didn't cut it 8. Eight and a quarter. My next test will be, will it still run after all that welding? I should have pulled that motor off, but there's 50% right there. Pretty stable now. All right, we're going to check RPMs now. So before we get started, I think this is 1.5. It is. Now this is like a 7.5 inch shiv, but the belt, this is actually made for a B belt, and I've got a little, I don't even know if that's a B belt right there. It came off that 78 Chevrolet 350. It's riding down in this groove a good 1.25 inches. So I'm going to say we're right at 5.25. The belt's right in here, if you can see that. So let me see. So that's a 1.5 driving pulley. The driven pulley is 5.25. Now that ratio is 1.5 divided by 5.25, and we got a point. I'll put this on the screen. 0.286 ratio there. From the driving pulley to the driven. All right, now I'm going to crank up the RPM to something I can try to do the math on. So on. I go to 40% there. We got 167. So the driven is 167. This one's got a dimple, so it's a little easy. The drive pulley, wow, 600. So the drive is 600. That's the step down there. So if I multiply 0.285 times 600, 171, and I measured 167. It was fluctuating a little bit. So that's that. So I got a 0.286 ratio. And let's see what this motor will put out. Come all the way up here. Wow, I can't believe it. It's right at 2,000 RPM there. Back down. So now I got to move to woodworking. That test is over. For the top of my box, I found this piece of white oak that we cut off the sawmill, and you can see that I didn't keep weight on it, so it's warped. It's twisted, not warped. So the way I do that when I go ahead and use it, and for this case, it doesn't matter, right? This is just the top to the seed box. So what I do is I just kind of eyeball it and split the difference. I see that's laying flat now. So now I'll glue it. It'll look bad, but it won't matter. Just a box is all it is. The white oak worked out just fine. And you can see right there, it's not square, but it works. Or at least I think it'll work. So I notched for this plywood here. It slides in like that. And let's see if it still rotates. I'm gonna coat the wood in this project with pine tar that we harvested here off the ranch, which I immediately spilled right here. But hopefully I got enough to do this. We made this pine tar right here on the ranch. And we have a little video on that. Watch this walnut. It's a little sticky when you first put it on, but it doesn't take long for it to dry. Maybe a day. I got some pine boards from a cabin up in northern Michigan from my brother Ed. You want to see what dusty is? Let's see if you can see this. It is filthy dusty. So this cabin, they did a remodel and took this pine out there and he saved it. That's some beautiful stuff. This is shiplap. I'm going to cut it 5 inches. I'm going to leave this rabbet here for the bottom of the board. I guess I ought to take that off. They didn't have the tools that we have today. Look at that. Just beat it out with a chisel. Looks like it's missing one thing. Okay, I've got the drawer face done. So I've got 2 little screws sticking out right here. And what I do with that is I try to get the reveal about the same all the way around. So I'm holding it back just a little bit from the top. Alright. When you get it where you want it, just bump it. And that'll give you 2 little dimples that now you can drill out and sink these screws into. Now we got to function test it. Okay, now we're going to pine tar this front.
Well, today's the day I finally get to test this dude out. So, got the rollers on. I think everything's done as far as the welding and the woodworking. And by the way, the rollers are the only new thing on this little apparatus here. Try to get this just right here. I'm going to try it inside. It's a little below freezing this morning, so it's a Saturday. Maybe I won't get any work calls and I can stay on this. But a little cold outside, so I was going to move it outside, but it's not. I think my hands would freeze. All right, my seed catcher. There you go. Let's see. All right. That's what we're going with there. I'm going to try this first. I think this is called a knurl. So let's see what happens here. I may have to bring in a little closer. On. We have ignition. Here we go. Speed it up a little bit more. Hoping the seeds don't go everywhere like it did the other time. Give it a little more juice. Might need to get the beaters a little closer to the board. I probably could get the beaters down to just about the diameter of one of these seeds. You see that? Took a lot of them off. Let's see what's in the box. You see in there, there's not a lot. Handful. It left a few on there. I don't like that part of it. Let me show you what it looks like here. And that's what it looks like there, and here's the mess up here. It's not too bad. It kind of contained it within the board there, within those boards. This is what I don't understand, this right here. I may have to get the beaters a little closer. This is what I'm talking about here. The brushes just touch it. See that gap? Maybe an 1/8 inch. So may have to cut different beaters on there. I don't know if I ever showed you this, but this is the broom corn that I dried. That's what it looks like. Really, really dry. So when I get ready to make the broom, I got to put this part in the water for an hour or two. So let's continue. So all that's holding this in, these beaters in, is some sheetrock screws drilled through these perforations. So this is a piece of mesquite, and this is the pine that was on there. So if you can see that.
I'm gonna go back with this side, this piece of mesquite. It's more durable anyway. And get that, my beaters a little closer to this board here. Whoa, it just barely clears. Okay, it's just this side. This basket here is a little bit warped. I call that good. Just clears it. I'm gonna go back with the same knurl. Oh yeah, got a little better bite. Yep, took almost all of them off. You see that? Yeah. That's not bad. I don't know what's acceptable. I don't know if having these little seeds on there is even acceptable on a broom. They made it. All right, let me get another one and continue. This is a different color one. The straw part is still the same color. Let's see. So I'm gonna kind of go slow since this is gonna be a load. This time I'm gonna see if I'm knocking the straw loose too. Let's get more power. Let's see what it's doing there. Works good, but I can't tell you that I feel like it's very efficient. I don't know what it takes to do this normally, what the machines even look like. Let's take a look what's inside now. We're gonna see if there's any straw in there this time. Different colored seed. There's a few pieces of straw. It's not bad. So this is kind of a red seed, and the last one was real blonde. That right there would be a lot of broom corn. All right, let's continue. I've got a stick I noticed the other day that the kids found. We got a bunch of kids on this ranch a lot of times, and they always have to have a stick. Looks like it might be a water oak. We'll use this to make the broom. This will be my handle. So this is what I produced. They're approximately the same length. I tried to get all about the same length. Because I heard you're not supposed to cut these or trim these. So I just found out that these guys float. So I'm putting a weight on there. I'm trying to get the water just about where that straw starts off that knurl. All right, I've got my broomstick. I've got my twine. I'm gonna come off the top of this. I'm gonna hold it with my feet. I'll get you in here closer when I start this. When I started this an hour ago, I realized I didn't have a needle. So I took a piece of 1/4 inch, just wire, and beat it flat and sharpened it a little bit, and made a needle that I can use to stitch with. So I'll start this, and then I probably won't show all of it because I know this video is getting to be extremely long. So I'm going to take my, this is pretty wet right here. It was sitting in warm water for over 2 hours, and probably didn't need to be in there that long, but I did it anyway. Alright, so I've had my share of failures. So I took the nail out, drilled a hole in this stick, my broom handle, and just tied a knot in it, and then went around a few times to make sure that I got that knot captured or what's left over from it. So I'm kind of starting over again now. Another thing I did is I went to the bandsaw and I cut these all off about the same length. So hopefully that'll help me, because I started and some of them were real long and it made it very difficult to do this. So we're going to start again. And so I'm going to come on this side of the knuckle, and I have to have an odd number. Let me count them. 4, 8, 10, 11 with the one I got on my stick here. So far I'd say the easiest part was building all the growing it and then making the de-seeder, which I know is a little bit of an overkill. I really wanted to do that. I'm just going to pick them up 2 at a time, get them on here. I got 11. Try to get them all even here. Just get these last 2 in here. All right, I got them. So now I'm gonna go 6 rounds, and I surely don't like my spindle. I should have taken time to round those corners off. There. Oh my goodness. Have I even got the camera going? Let's see. Yes. All right. So now I'm going to start the plating. I'm going to go right there. There's one. I'm going to go under that, over that one. Over that, under that, over that, under that, over that one. That one. I'm running out of stock here. That one. I'm gonna call it quits right there. It sure looks a lot easier when you're watching the video. So now I'm gonna go 6 rounds. All right, got it through there. That one worked. So I'm going to leave it a little long since I don't know what I'm doing. That's what she looks like. Not the best in the world. So now I got to do a stitch right in here. So before I do the stitch, I'm going to trim these stalks off a little bit. Hopefully I don't cut the string. Gave it a little trim. So now we're going to do the stitch. Alright, that's where I came out right there. So now I'm going to go over this. I'm going to find out if my needle's any good. Come on. There it is. It's got to get better. I don't believe it can get any worse. Alright, I came under that one, so now I'm going to go over this, but I'm only going to go, that was going straight through, this time I'll go maybe 20% of it. All right. I'm going to go over this one. Each time I'm kind of going over my wraps. I'm capturing them. Dadgummit, I keep doing that. When I opened that eye up, it made the string where it can come out. Okay, I'm back to where I started from. Gotta figure out how to tie this off. Let's see. Well, that was pretty much a train wreck. There she is right there. I was going to try to pull that through. Didn't work out, so I just tied it off. But that's not bad for my first broom. You're getting to see all the mistakes. So now I need to go find a spider web, see if it takes it down. Okay, I'm going to deliver this broom to Camera Girl. I can't say it's her Christmas present because she'll get mad. So I did it. I built you a broom. The cobweb broom.
Wow.
Believe me, I have my share of trouble with it. Believe me.
I really like it.
That is terrible, but you're supposed to clamp it a little bit so it doesn't spread out. So let's try it on the ceiling fan. Isn't that where we always get our
Yes.
cobwebs?
We have cobwebs up here sometimes. It reaches perfectly. Oh man. Usually have to get on the ladder to do this.
Yeah, it's 6.5 feet long.
That's really nice. Yeah, I'll definitely be able to do it. And even, go like that and get them off the fan.
Yeah.
Very nice. I really like the handle.
That's, one of the kids had that. It's been in the shop for 4 or 5 years.
You did a good job, Papa.
Thank you. Say thank you.
Thank you.
Hope y'all enjoy the video. Goodbye.